Yeah,
Just wake
I
up.
said, ooh, before I'm gone. Yeah, I said, ooh, before I'm gone. Yeah, got locked up at 15.
What is up, guys? We got the R34 here that we're going to be doing the last part of the trimming and installing on the GTR over fenders. I don't know if I posted in the previous videos of the work that we've been doing with it, but we did install the front fenders. These are the, I forgot the name of it, but we just got to do just some trimming to get a little better of a fitment to kill this gap here. We got some little fitment issues on the bumper, like right here, this little tiny gap. Nothing crazy, but these are installed. These have been cut as far as the quarter panels. These have been installed. The only thing I gotta do is just take off this OEM side scrape piece right here, so we can get that installed or trim it out of the way, whichever one works better. But this one's already on. We are gonna be molding them, so these screws are not gonna sit there forever. They're just to hold it in place when we glue them on, and then once it's glued, to take it off and mold it together. Today we're gonna be doing on this side where we're gonna have to cut this one up, and then cut this piece out, put the fender on, and then we have the other gas door is going to go on it, the new one, and we got to make a bracket for it and everything to make it work. But for today, we're going to be working on this and getting this situated and get that installed, trimmed, and glued down so we can start molding it later on tonight. We're going to start cutting up this gas tank portion. I'll show you right now in a little bit. Right now, we're just going to use the cutting wheel, nothing crazy. We've just been cutting right here, as you'll see. So what we've been doing, just cutting, and then we're going to go and install over fender and then just go from there.
Yeah, this shit crazy.
Bitch, yeah, yeah,
Just wake
I
up.
said, ooh, before I'm gone. Yeah, I said, ooh, before I'm gone. Yeah, got locked up at 15. They told me I never do this. Now when I pull up, them bitches go stupid. 500K, just put that on the check. 50,000, I'll put that on my neck. She think that I'm fresh. That's why when you pull up my dick on the bread. Said that's you, bitch, why she giving me head? Feel like I'm Jesus, I'm breaking the bread. I tell the bitch, come and sit on my face. Look at the pussy, just give me a taste. Kitty food good, I put her on a plate. And then when she done, put her back on the plane.
Okay, this might look a little bit ugly. I started sanding that, but I added some filler right here so that way we can flare the bumper into the same shape of the rest of the thing. But once we sand it down and you see how smooth it looks, it's gonna look nice. But for right now, it might look a little funny. We're gonna sand it smooth and everything because it has to flare out a little bit to make it fit. I can't make all of this super thick and it's gonna look all stupid and cracked. So I gotta make it flare into it as best as possible. But it's almost there. I'm about to take the bumper off so it dries up and I can take off the quarters so I can trim them and start molding them on. All right, I got the parts glued on, got everything trimmed and cleaned up. I don't know if you can see, it's not very bright up in here, but got everything fitted to where I like it. Got the panel bond. This is what we use. It's 3M panel bonding adhesive. I don't know if you can see what it is, but this thing works wonders. Give this a couple hours or overnight. Next day you take off these bolts and you're gonna have to break this panel off. That's how hard that thing sticks to it. Tomorrow I'm gonna go and trim out the gas tank hole and make the brackets for the new gas cap. Got everything else fitted. Got the bumper widened up and everything with body fillers to make it match. Got everything else fitted on. Everything looks good. So now that it's glued on, we're gonna let it sit. Tomorrow we're gonna scuff it down, sand up like the areas to kind of make it a little bit more thinner, and then start the body filler and then go from there and make it all one full piece. All right, I don't know if you guys can tell from here, but we do have the fenders glued on. Last night we glued them on, let them sit overnight, so that way we get a good solid, like maybe 12 to like 15 hours of curing time. By the time I glued them on, it was like 6 p.m. I think. It was like 5 p.m. So overnight, and then until now, it's already 3 p.m. So it's almost close to 24 hours that we let it sit already. So I started doing the body filler, let it down. Gonna give it another like 30 minutes before we start sanding it so we can smooth this on out. This is gonna be the first pass. I'm gonna give it a like putty pass afterwards to get it really nice and smooth, so that way there's no holes or spectacles in there. So gonna do that in a little bit, but I'm gonna give this like 30 minutes and then start sanding this down. We trimmed this down a little bit more because the customer wanted just a little bit more higher. Cleaned it up, bonded this up, and got everything glued on and molded. So like these things are not coming off ever unless you break them into pieces. So Yeah, they look good. I don't know if you guys can see. Maybe if I go down here because of camera. Yeah, they're molded on. They're glued. You know, cool stuff. So, customer came to test fit his wheels. The rears fit, fronts didn't. So he's gonna get some other wheels, and then we're gonna retest fit again. But they should clear. Everything should be good. Everything else is looking good. I primered the bottom section so that way nothing rusts up. And trimmed the other side of the side skirt. Added the body filler on the rear bumper. This side needs a little bit more, but overall they're almost there. It's almost perfect. So needs just a little bit of work here and there, and it should be ready for paint tomorrow. So I'm just gonna get this prepped up, get it sanded down, and then primer it, and then I'm gonna be working on some other cars. So I'm just gonna get this straight, tape it up, and primer it, and then just go from there. Kind of a bit hard to tell on video, but you can see how like nice and smooth everything is. Little things like this I'm gonna go with putty. It's just when the fiberglass got too thin and it kind of just like separated, and there's little pieces I can't get with the machine, so I'm just gonna fill this in with putty. But everything else is really smooth. There's like another one that we're gonna fill in. All these little tiny little miscellaneous things are gonna get smoothed in and like filled in. But that's the whole purpose of putty. All of this has been blocked and smoothed out, so it's as straight as it can get. Nice and smooth, nice little transition and flare in, so that way it doesn't bulk up right here. It just goes straight to it. So that's what it looks like. And then, like I said, putty fills in all the little miscellaneous spots and areas that got missed. And then just go back with the sanding pad and just sand those areas smooth and then clean it all up. All right, I got a little bit backed up just because we're having some issues with the gas lid right here, and I'll show you why. The problem was that, first of all, that the wire thingy, the little spring back here, it broke for some reason. I don't know what happened. When I took it off, it was fine, but it broke. And then we're having issues with the door opening and closing, just because the other hinge that they give us, it's supposed to come out and the thing's gonna be like right here, but there's no way of actually sitting it. And if you were to fiberglass, it's just not gonna work. So we had to use the OEM mounting points. So we had to cut it off the old one, weld it onto the new cap, and make a new bracket that goes behind here, so it holds the two pieces of fiberglass, because we had to cut basically all of this out. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see right there, but it's all cut out, so it's like hollow right here. So we had to make a bracket to hold it, so that way it doesn't lose it. It's the fucking so it doesn't lose its strength, right? And then we had to cut around here to make sure this can clip in and sit right. And we had to replace this because that was messed up. So a lot of stuff, got it fixed. We just gotta grind this down because some of the weld that went through. But got it fixed, it lines up and it sits pretty good. It actually fits really good. And then we're working on the bumper, but we still need some more work. Around here is not terrible. Obviously the bodywork's gonna get cleaned up because it's just like a rough finish. It'll be like this. But it's just because we're still adding more to it and still playing with it. So this is not fully done. I'm gonna give it a second pass to get just that body line a little bit tighter. And then I'm seeing that we have an issue here now where this tail light, since it's the GTR one, I don't know if this is shorter or taller or whatever it is, but now we have a big gap on the light and the bumper. So I don't want to fill all this up with Bondo. If I have to, I have to, whatever, but it's like I wouldn't want to. And you can clearly see here we had to add a little bit more to kind of thicken up this line as far as like where that fits. And we got a little bit of a gap right here too, so that needs to get fixed. And on the other side as well too. It's kind of a little bit better over here on this side, but yeah, this gap is still pretty bad. But as far as the molding, everything went good. You can see how nice and smooth it is, and it's all nice and clean. And then keep in mind, this is just a quick little primer just to kind of see where we're at, because we're still going to block it and guide coat it so we can make sure all of this looks nice and pretty before we paint it, so it doesn't look all rough and everything. So that's just for the time being, but you can see how the overs look molded, and we're putting a lot of time into basically just adjusting the holes, making them bigger, and basically just trying to get this to line up literally perfect. It's insane how like almost perfect this looks. Look at it. It's like a perfect line. And then cap wise right here, it's literally perfect. All of this is really good. Everything looks super well. You can't even tell where it's at until you get to the bottom, but the other piece hides it, so like that's not even necessary. We're gonna touch up a little bit on this door jamb and clean up as far as like painting it, but everything else sits good. Body line of the bumper looks pretty good aside from like the back portion, but molding process came out phenomenal. And then this head came out really good. Same thing with the body line. Everything is fitted as to like its OEM like spec, so it doesn't like cut, it doesn't like stick out wider. And like I said, bumper line is solid, but it's just the little gaps that we have that we are missing. So that's the only problem, but nothing a little bit of body we can fix. But for now, I'm gonna take it out so we can paint this on Monday. And when we paint it on Monday, we're gonna go and clean all of that up, all the little situations here and there. But overall, looks good. I'm stoked. It looks super, super good. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have the skyline in the other garage finally. So today's the day that we're gonna be painting it. We've gotten basically the entire quarter panel already molded on, finished, cleaned up. There's very small like miscellaneous pieces that I would like to touch up a little bit by block sanding, and a little bit of putty to just kind of go into small little crevices that like I didn't really like. And one of the last things that we have to do is just basically finish up the rear bumper here, because right here it lines up pretty good. It's just on this section right here where there's still a little bit of a gap, and there's a little bit of a gap from the tail light to the bumper. So I'm gonna mask up the tail light, mask up this area. I'm gonna fill the bumper so that way it can give me the amount that I need on it, and then from there I can go and start cutting it down. Same thing with the other side. And then I'm debating on how to do this section, because from here to the tail light there's a small gap right here. So I don't know if I should just fill it in, because if I do, it is going to be a lot. It'll be about like this much of bundle, which I don't want to do. I don't want the bumper to crack and have any issues. So that's the only thing I can't do much. I can make the tail light go lower, but now we're going to create a gap right here and a gap on the trunk portion. I can maybe make the trunk go lower, but because of that too, I don't want it to go lower than the actual quarter panel. So that's going to be a problem. The last things we have to do on the other side is the other side skirt has to get trimmed, cleaned up, and just fit it on to double check if everything fits correctly. Aside from that, everything's ready to go. I'm going to mask up the car and start getting this thing ready to get painted today. All right, we have the car ready to get sprayed. Everything's prepped, everything's sanded, everything's clean. Well, I'm about to clean it up right now. And once we're done with the cleaning, we're gonna go and shoot some of the blue primer to kind of blend this in. And then we're gonna shoot the color over the whole thing. Same thing with the front fenders. All right, we just finished spraying this thing. I'm gonna take my mask off so you can hear me. But we just finished this up. Oh my God, this color just came out super good, super. I've had trouble with this color before because it's super transparent, but I've changed supplies recently. I changed different materials, so it's like, it's made my life so much more easier. And look how good this finish comes out. It's almost perfect, where like, it needs very, very, very minor color sand because it has like, it's really thick clear, so it has like a little bit of orange peel. But Jesus Christ, look how good this looks. Like everything came out almost perfect in every sense. Like it's insane how like nice this color came out. And look how good the molded fenders look. Can't even tell that they're molded or if they're aftermarket or OEM. Even from the back, try to make it look as good as possible. So stoked how good this came out. The color is just phenomenal. Like I love this color so much. I've always wanted to do a 240 in this color. It's always been a big dream of doing like a nice Works 9 S13 hatch with this color. Perfect, you know. So damn, this got super bright, but yeah, color came out really good. Spraying it came out really good. The finish came out really good. The new clear that we're using is phenomenal. It's a little thick, but it's phenomenal. It comes out really, really good. Look at that. Oop, got a little bit of a drip right there, but that's because it's freezing outside. It's raining and shit, so it's like, it's bound to happen. That's easy to take off. It's better off to have drips than have dry spots, because you can color sand it out. Dry spots, you can't really make it shiny no more. But Jesus Christ, look how nice and perfect and beautiful this looks. I didn't get to show anything in between. I was just too excited painting it, and everything's coming out so good. I don't want nothing to interfere or get in the way, so it is what it is. Love this thing. So end of the video. Molded fenders, front fenders, the whole thing, blah blah blah. Tomorrow I'm going to be installing everything back, putting it all together, and basically just give it a light color sand throughout the whole thing and get it buffed and polished and make this thing look almost perfect. It's right there. So